Situations, expressions, and equations. I want you to write down this situation. The city of Austin is repaving a portion of Green Emerald Terrace. They have already completed 500 feet. On average, the road crew can repave 200 feet of road surface per hour. Write that down. Now I want you to add how many total feet will be completed after 8 hours. Write that down and then see how you can figure out the answer, how many feet will be completed after 8 hours. Just manipulate that and see what you come up with. So I would imagine that you did something like this. You took 200 feet, because it's 200 feet per hour, and you multiplied it by 8 hours, and you got 1,600 feet. But we know that they've already completed 500 feet, so you probably then added in 500 feet. So you may have done this in a different order, but you probably did something like this and got, again, 2,100 feet. Now I want you to keep all of your work, but I also want you to write this next part down. Define a variable that represents the amount of time the road crew will work. So think about that for a minute and come up with a variable. Alright, so maybe you came up with something different, but I'm going to say T represents the time that the road crew will work. Now I want you to write this down. Use the variable that you came up with, to write an expression that represents this situation. Remember, an expression does not have an equal sign answer something. It's just an expression. Alright, so maybe the expression that you came up with, this is what I have. I know they already have 500 feet completed, plus 200, because that's 200 feet per T amount of time. You could also have 200 T plus 500. The order does not matter. So that would be your expression. Now I want you to write down, if the crew is finished and the road is 1 mile or 5,280 feet long, write an equation that represents how many hours it took the crew to complete the road. So what you probably did is went back to your expression. 500 feet was already completed, plus the 200 feet per hour, and that should give you 5,280 feet. So you should have something like this written down for your equation. Now I want you to write down solve to find the number of hours. And I want you to solve to find out how many hours it took the crew to finish the additional part of the road. So this is a two-step equation that we have been working a lot on. So what is the first thing that we've got to do? We have to subtract 500 from both sides, because that is the number of hours, the number of feet that had already been completed. So we're left with 200 feet per hour equals 4,780 feet that still needs to be completed. Then we are going to divide by 200, and you should get that the amount of time that it will take the crew, or that it did take the crew, was 23 9/10 hours. Now make sure that you watch this video and you very carefully, and that you understand everything, because tomorrow when you come into class you're going to have an assignment very similar to this.